Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is our first game out of week number 5. It's going to be Armata going up against Eg3. Please allow me to introduce your teams. They're the blue team fighting out of the bottom of the minimap in the left side of your spectator UI. Team Armata. It's going to be Rithis in the mid lane on Agni. You'll have Everlong, Lol on the solo lane, Guan Yu, Virgil, and Swisdom going to be combining for the Apollo Sun Wukong dual lane, and you'll have Lucier in the jungle on Thanatos. Their opponents today across the map from them in the red trunks, top side of the minimap, and the right side of your spectator UI is Eg3. The 4857 crew, it's going to be Scott and President Cam combining for the Amusing Cobb Sobek dual lane. In the jungle will be Dequas in as the Fenrir, Kenny in the solo lane on Tyr, and you'll have Cody in the mid lane as Aoguang. And it looks like we are underway here as Agni is going to sniff out Sobek and Aoguang and Amusin waiting for him. A very dangerous play there to go ahead and take out that B swarm.
Yeah, that charged prey could come out very quickly, and that can spell a dead whoever you are in the way of that very quickly as well. The first thing I want to make note of is, A, they're contesting this mid-camp, which is an interesting play, and B, both hunters are starting off with Aussie. I've seen a lot of Death's Toll and Heartseeker start, but the Aussie health pot seems to be a little safer, and both hunters are going for it. I kind of like that build, Bart.
Yeah, it's I think a little bit safer than the Heartseeker build. A little bit more regen Death's Toll, of course, giving you the 5 HP per hit, and then on top of the 5% physical life steal that Aussie rank 1 gives you with a little bit of attack speed as well. All things told, they synergize pretty well together, these two items. They both have attack speed, they both have attack speed, and they both have some HP per hit on them, giving you some decent in-lane presence. Scott, especially on the Amusing Cobb, with the HP 5 that the Hives provide, is going to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. Scott's going to have very good sustain. Probably out-sustain him with between the Hives on the Amusing Cobb and the Sickening Strike on President Cam Sobek. We're going to see a little more sustain for them as blue team just kind of shoves the lane into the tower, gets some early tower damage. We actually see an engagement go on. The charge prey comes out and flips. Uh-oh. We see the honey come out. President Cam is actually taking a lot of poke for this. Apollo's getting in there, leaving it 10-25% HP for the Sobek. Not a good engagement. Not a good engagement at all for Eg3 in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, it took just a lot of in-hands from Apollo there. I think they weren't expecting Virgil to be that effective. You know, with those attacks, Sobek, it looked like he was trying to kind of stay in and wait for his cooldowns to come back up and have another go at it with the Amusing Cobb. But sitting at level 2, Musin, it doesn't really provide that much of a threat as he doesn't have the bee swarm yet. He just has the honey and the hives to really help stall the lane out. So, but already in the right side, look at this rotation by Rithis. He's going to pick up a kill here. No, Kenny's going to go down just before he makes it to the lane, but they will easily secure that one. And that's a very secure first blood here from Armata. Rithis going to try to rotate back. Cody a little bit late on his rotation, so he's going to get much push or much pressure out of this. And it's an Armata early game.
It definitely is looking like a very dominant start for Armata. We see both that kill go down and that extra poke go down. A second kill goes down in the dual lane as Sobek just stayed. # one more wave, too long, taken down. Scott's forming a little counter initiation as the honey comes out. Apollo doesn't even seem to mind as he just takes half a life bar and poke, jumps his way out of there, and lands in safety.
Yeah, that's, I don't know that they really are going to want to fight. Mid lane, though, we have Lucier coming in, missing that death side just barely on the Cody, trying to set up the kill. Still not level 5 on that Thanatos yet, so not too much gank potential. Dequas going to try to come in on Fenrir as well, but similar situation. Only sitting at level 3, misses his leap, isn't going to find the stun as Virgil nicely dashes out of that one. So, this left side lane, I really think that Eg3 should be playing this a little bit more passively. They seem to be trying to trade a little bit with Armata, and I think between Sun Wukong and Apollo, they have just the superior poke, and the trade game isn't going to be going in Eg3's favor until at least Musin gets his dots up significantly and Sobek can effectively peel for him. But only sitting at level 2, it's going to be a tall task.
For sure. And also we have that beautiful vision coming out from Armata over there as we see Kenny go down yet again in the solo lane. The Amusing Cobb also gets his life taken. Armata is just in the driver's seat right here. Too much action all over the place. In middle lane, we actually see 2v2. Both jungler and junglers in the air. Thanatos is looking. He lands on Amusing Cobb. It goes down. The Path of Flames come out. Uh-oh. Aoguang is just barely not going to make it out as the Rain of Fire lands on him and secures that kill. Amusing Cobb, like I said, in the middle of that engagement also goes down. Sobek is low HP. Really wants to defend this tower, but it looks like he might lose his life for it as the So Beautiful comes out and takes down President Cam one more time. Armata is even beyond the driver's seat at this moment. They own the whole car bar.
Yeah, that's right. It's paid in full, no more car payments. They're doing pretty well for themselves, it looks like here. You have the Mystical Mark II is going to come out here for Everlong Wall. Soul Lane definitely going their way as well. He seems to be a little bit ahead of Kenny with that early death onto the tier. As we mentioned, the jungler's getting involved at this point. It looks like Thanatos doing a little bit better than Fenrir in terms of setting things up around the map. And all things told, this is an early game going the way of Armata. EG3, what can they really look to do? I mean, they will have level 5 up running on Fenrir. They had some important levels now. They have the ultimates available to really set up that easy kill for the Fenrir and Algwan combination. You only have beads on Orithis, so as long as they don't necessarily try to go onto this mid laner, although it's still not impossible, they should be okay. But it looks like the gank attempt is going to be coming to this right side lane. Well, Lucier and Cody are going to run into each other in the jungle. I think Thanatos is going to try to go in here, maybe try to bait out the Spirit Tempest.
Thanatos is definitely looking, smelling something, not using exactly his scent of death, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have it in real life. So they're going to back off there, even though Soul Lane is all alone. They're going to opt for the counter jungle over here, and Fenrir is actually going to opt for the counter jungle on the other side of the map, get that blue. Armada's going to get that orange. Everybody's taking everybody else's buffs. I guess they just don't want their own this map part. We see Kenny actually looking at his blue buff, getting countered by the other two, surrounded, got out of there thanks to a passive Fearless, and lost his blue buff in that whole engagement as well. So things are not boding well for the team in general. As oh no, Kenny gets decimated by the Lucier ult, just enough HP to land in that execute range. Cody comes over to see what's up. Big problem for him though. The horse comes out. They're going to surround on the Fenrir. It's coming down. The stun comes out. Fenrir is down. Dequas can't do much of anything about that. So poor execution from there from EG3 is actually going to pay in full for those deaths.
Yeah, that was, the Fenrir uses Leap to try to get in there and then didn't have the number 3, or only had Brutalize available to try to get over that wall, which, requires very, very short distance on that Leap, and wasn't able to close it. He just gets stunned out by the horse. And unfortunately, it's now going to be a 8-0 advantage for Armata. 6 minutes into this game, they're looking like they're poised to definitely take this early game in a big way. And if they can starve out EG3 like they're doing here, I mean, as you can see, they're just pushing them out of the lane, keeping them between the tier 1 and tier 2 almost. They're going to dive Scott here. Swizzum's going to be able to close the distance. He's going to have a transformation available. Apollo comes crashing in. A lot of damage onto the Musicom. Gets a knockup as well, and that should guarantee his death. Jugabane comes in, so beautiful. Going to clean it up. Algwang rotation not going to be good. He may go down here. Spirit Tempest is going to knock Lucier off, at least for the moment. It looks like Cody wants to pursue this, and this will allow the angle to come in. They're going to be able to get basically a full surround here. Didn't even need the rotation from Wukong, who goes to set up a potential gank onto Dequas here. EG3, I'm sorry, having some serious troubles here throughout the early game.
Yeah, Dequas not alone in his early game troubles as President Cam is also sitting at that 3 death mark. Dequas is actually going to get landed on. The dunk comes out, the stun comes out, and so does the Fenrir Leap, but that dot from Rithis' passive just ticks away, and his death clock is run deep.
Another thing to look at here is there's just this one ward for EG3. It's just this little happy one sitting just to the left of the Gold Fury there, put out by President Cam. And, I think that at this point they're going to have to really invest into wards. They can't rely on their Eye of Providence sitting at rank 1. They really need to pick some up and have them. As you see there on Everlong, for example, has a ward in his inventory for the Guan Yu. And it's not that necessarily Armada's warding is drastically superior at this point in the game. It's more that EG3 really needs the vision as they're getting blown up by these Thanatos rotations. And Fenrir is not controlling the pace of the game at all at this point.
Yeah, the wards that have come out from Armata have been very aggressive, sitting behind the enemy damage buffs, speed buffs, and at the long lane mana camp. So they really have full control of what's going on and how their rotations can work on that entire side of the map. And solo lane just doesn't need it. Armata feels like they've gone sufficiently ahead that they, why need the vision? Nobody's going to gank a Guan Yu that's sufficiently ahead. So, like you said, Fenrir's just not performing his job, unfortunately, for EG3. So that threat is a lot less for Armata.
It's going to be really tough for them because now in the solo lane, Guan Yu has Mystical Mark finish, and honestly, Kenny isn't even really close on the tier there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's about 100 gold away, but it'll still be a boost advantage as you see a Music Hub go down there to Rithis, who then gets thrown out of lane by Sobek. But that's just going to put him in a good position to go try to pick up the Aoguang, who is going to go down to the Thanatos ultimate. Ooh, as you see it coming in brilliant slow motion. Execute is successful. So Fenrir looks like he wants to find a target, but the sprint's going to be going on Lucier, and I don't know if Deck was going to find him, but he's stunned out now. Jigabay comes through as well. Sobek going to use the lurking in the waters, but Swism going to go ahead and clean that up. The level advantage on the Wukong making that transformation just do so much damage.
Yeah, the level damage, the level difference on Armata is now really at that scary point, especially when you consider the gods they're playing. Rith is sitting, almost finishing his Void Stone on that Agni, is going to be doing a lot of damage to anyone on the other team, as there's no magic damage out. We see Scott wasn't even able to go for the Heart Seeker like you would expect.
Right side lane, Kenny is going to go down to Everlong, and not sorry to cut you off there, but it's a Mystical Mark, when you finish it and the other guy doesn't have it yet, it's pretty much a free lane, and that's what we saw there. Kenny, comes back to lane with his Mystical Mark, but Everlong already up and running, plus the boots, just has that small advantage, able to secure that pretty easily, and down will go the tier. In the meantime, Aoguang going to fall as well to the mid lane collapse. Lucier's been controlling both the red buffs basically this entire game on Thanatos, and now he's going to go ahead and take the enemy's speed as well.
Yeah, this poor Fenrir hasn't had any farm to himself. We're looking at a mid tower going almost down at the 9.5 minute mark. We have Armata sitting at a almost 6,000 gold lead above them before even the 10-minute mark. Heartbeats are being controlled. Buffs are being controlled. Armata's looking very dominant in this game, Bart.
Putting a lot of damage into tier over here on the right side lane. I don't think they have the ultimates available to dive this tower, but they're going to go ahead and pressure the blue again. Left side lane, Virgil holding off the 2v1 pretty effectively, buying some time for the rotation coming out. Looks like on the right side lane, Alcohol Ultimate going to hit the Guan Yu, and he is in some trouble, going to try to dash out. Kenny wants to secure this, but Everlong going to kite them. Mystic Mark doing some work, but they finally get on the board. Eg3 is going to, however, get stunned out by Lucier as he finds yet another kill. I don't think Aoguang really wants to fight this, but Federer is rotating in. Dekwas, is he going to get to the Ragnarok in time? I think he's going to be a little too slow with the speed buff on Lucier. The leap comes through. He's going to have a brutalize. Is it going to be enough? Fourth hit, and the auto attack. Second kill on the board for EG3.
Yeah, that was definitely a very confident engagement for Armata. They really went for that kill, and maybe didn't have to, but this is just what we're used to seeing. We've seen Armata in the weeklies a little recently sort of do their thing as we see the left tower go down at the 10.5 minute mark for Armata. Lucier on this Thanatos is so scary as Cody's just getting locked out by 3 members of Armata. 1 shot, 2 shot down. Wasn't even much to talk about as it was 2-second engagement brought him down, surrounded by 3 members of Armata. Fenrir is looking to push something into this tower, just do something, impact the game somehow, and it's just not enough at this time, Bart.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for them, I think. I mean, looking at Lucier, and to your point, I mean, he's done a really good job with this advantage of going and kind of getting around the map and really denying a lot of those camps. He's really done a great job of that. Now that he has that advantage, as you can see, seeing a 6,300 gold versus Dekwas at 5,300 gold, so 1,000 gold ahead with those kills and with all that deny. XP per minute at 351 for Dekwas. Lucier sitting at 478. So he's just been getting so much more off of the map, and a lot of really effective counter jungling has gone his way.
Yeah, and because of that, even though they're so far ahead, Armata, we're not seeing anything interesting come out from their builds. We're not seeing anything crazy as Cody gets caught yet again between 2 members of Armata. Not much damage able to be put out as he just goes down to both the Agni and Lucier's Thanatos in the middle of the jungle. Tier's looking like he wants to do something about Guan Yu, but with 2 levels on him, there's not much he can do. He hits him with the dash. He fearlesses through him. The shred comes out. Kenny's actually taking a whole lot of poke with Apollo in the air, and he lands on him, puts the damage down with the knockup. He's in execute rage, and there he goes. Lucier coming from nowhere.
Yeah, the minute they saw that he was out of mana, they were like, okay, that's free. And Guan Yu just went ahead, took very aggressive positioning, hit it with a Talu Assault. And Tyr felt like he was going to be okay to make it back to the tower. Wasn't expecting the Apollo to come through and the Thanatos as well. But, they go in because they know that he doesn't have the mana to ultimate to get out of their crashing down. So a pretty well-executed kill there by Armata leads them into an attempt on the right side, Tier 2, where Dekwas against all odds is going to attempt to 3v1 and is going to, unfortunately, not get very much out of that. Now in the jungle, it's Cody who's going to take the Agni Bombs. The Spirit Tempest is going to be dodged. Cody doing a nice job avoiding the next meteor, but the third one coming through is enough to secure him with the Talu Assault from Guan Yu. And Armata is 4-man controlling, basically. There's this kind of engagement line right past the tier 2 towers of EG3, where Armata is basically saying we control everything this south of this line.
Yeah, they've really just taken complete control. They're sitting at an over 10,000 gold lead. It's going to be a very, very, very big uphill battle coming on the side of EG3 if they even want to take a tower, let alone take the game, Bart. But this is what we're used to seeing from Armata. They're really powerful in the beginning of the bracket, as we see President Cam about to get impeached, surrounded by 2 members of Armata. Up goes the Thanatos, down goes the President Cam. Sobek is now dead. Everybody is just so afraid of this Thanatos.
Oh, Virgil! Yeah, they're going to find him there. Dekwas goes ahead and use the leap as well, and that could lead to his death, as he's not going to have the escape mechanic available anymore. Going to pick up Swisdom, but the Jingle Bangle will be available again as he gets out. But they're going to go ahead and opt for the ultimate there. Swisdom Somersault Cloud going to be enough to pick up Dekwas. Nope. The decoy actually finds that, and Swisdom going to leap out of there. Lucier throwing in Death Sides from the backside just to pick up some extra HP. Unfortunate there that the decoy picks that up. Now it's going to be Everlock diving the tower. Cody in a lot of trouble. He goes down as well. They're going to need some tornadoes, but that's not going to stop them from continuing going in on a Muzen.
Yeah, this is just a very, very aggressive push. They know that they can really handle anything that EG3 is going to be able to hand them with only 3 members up. We hear the taunt spam coming out on the side of Armata. I love to hear that, just getting in the head of the opponent. This mid tower, there's minions on all 3 tier 2 towers. The tier 1 towers are already gone. We're sitting at 14 minutes, Barton. I don't want to call a victor yet, but it's going to be a very, very hard time as President Cam actually gets a pull out on Agni. I don't think he's in much trouble, though.
No, he's going to dash right back through that, and it looks like, I got to say that ISIS ban is probably not doing work for them, considering, the quality of this Agni from Rithis. It doesn't look like he's uncomfortable here, so I don't think it's worth not banning out the Agni. I think ISIS may be a little bit easier to deal with, of course. She brings her own kind of troubles to the table, long-range stun, the silence, and the great wave clear coming from the wing buffet as well. So all around, I mean, I guess it's not a terrible ban by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's not that great considering how much work Agni's putting in.
Yeah, for sure. And the Agni's just, I mean, it's a dominant character, and we assume that Rithis is a dominant mid as Amusing Cobb goes down yet again for the 5th time this match. President Cam's also taking a lot of damage. Stuck again between an Agni and a Thanatos. The tag team of Lucier and Rithis just tearing through this team completely. Apollo's looking for something. 1 member, 2 members, 2 dunks come out, 1 member dies. Cody is just stuck yet again, hiding in his tornado. Is it enough? It's definitely not enough. He falls down. We're going to look to see a mid-tower fall down. Everything's falling down here today at the path to 100K as we see Armata and EG3 face off in the round of 16.
Oh, man. Look at this. Look how greedy this is from Armata. They're going to put Midas Boots onto their Apollo. So Midas Boots up and running. He's going to be relying on basically his level advantage. The base damage that his skills are going to have, plus his in-hand items, the Aussie Heartseeker Rageblade 1 to be doing most of his damage. He's not going to have that extra pen, but he will have the extra GP5. It's just so greedy. It's actually a pretty clever play when you're this far ahead, I think. A little bit cheeky. It's gonna make it so that basically this Apollo is going to be hitting his Rageblade Deathbringer timing maybe 5 to 6 minutes earlier than he normally would. Scott going to get blown up by the Thanatos Death Sides, just doing so much damage to him. Its percentage damage is just crushing based on the level advantage Lucier has. He's going to try to go deep for Kenny. Going to stun him out, but it's not going to execute. Teamfight rages on. Dekwas does find a kill, but he takes so much damage from that Thanatos 3. Spirit Tempest looks good, but it's not going to knock up Aoguang. He is immune in that Taolu Assault. And now this looks like it's going to be a good fight for EG3. This could be their fight. President Cam, unfortunately, going to miss a charge. Pray their F dot as Kenny is going to go ahead and lead through that and going to pay with his life as Thanatos. They just can't seem to get the kill on this assassin. And even at, a 3rd HP and no mana, his auto attacks are still just ripping through EG3.
Yeah, and that was the fight, as you mentioned, that EG3 really needed to take home to really impact this fight. We see 1 shot from Agni take Duquos down half HP. We really have reached the point of no return, I would venture to say. We saw Fenrir take Guan Yu and pull him all the way to the Phoenix, and Guan Yu escaped with 90% HP after taking Fenrir damage, Phoenix damage, minion damage. They're just going to shove this right-hand tower. Cody's going to give his life for absolutely nothing. Maybe 2 seconds worth of delay, but 2 seconds worth of delay is not enough for a full team rotation. And at this point in the game, that's what we would need to see from EG3 to even think about taking down 2 members, let alone more than that.
Now it's going to be Dekos in some trouble. He's going to get cat stunned, and that's going to be a Talos ult, and that is going to be yet another kill coming out from Armata Gaming, sitting on 38-4 now. A very, very strong performance, and Everlong's going to go back, and he's going to dive out, or the Music Cup, I'm sorry. Another Talos ult. We've been able to finish it off. Where's the Thanatos coming in with the ultimate? He's going to stun out. No, he's going to kill the Sobek because he just falls under the threshold. In the meantime, it is going to be Guan Yu finally going down to see over-aggressive moves in there. But it looks like Armata is perfectly happy to just pin EG3 inside their base, wait for reinforcements, and force the issue onto the Phoenix. Kenny, yeah, that ultimate's not going to work. He gets obliterated there by Lucier. Thanatos is really, really doing a lot of damage. In fact, take a look at his player damage. 18,000 top in the game. Lucier, a great individual performance in this one.
EG3 is just playing as if they were the ones in the lead. We see Dekos jump in time and time again. Gonna go for the ultimate and grab Lucier. Wonder if they have enough damage for this. The Phoenix, the Tornado, they do. The Brutalize comes out. The Thanatos goes down. They gotta be clapping for that one. And I feel like that's why they're playing this hard. That's why they're playing this aggressive. As Apollo's in the air, gonna make Cody pay for that. You don't kill my jungler. That's how we handle that nonsense. The Bee Honey goes down. 2 members are stunned though. They're gonna completely turn that around. Just take Scott. Take President Camp. Oh, he's tanky at this point, so maybe not. They're going to chase into the base, give his life for this. Virgil looking very awkward right here. Not enough to take down President Cam. Trades that. Let the lead play him a little bit, but I don't think they're going to pay too much for that one, Bart.
Yeah, and Gold Fury is still down. She won't be back up for another minute or so. Fire Giant not really contestable by EG3 at this point. So, while it is still a little bit of a foolish play, it's not, they're not really going to be able to capitalize on it too much. Will EG3 without Apollo diving into the essentially the pool there as Tyr pushed him in. Malice is done, however, for Virgil. So he's really, doesn't really need much more farm to be that aggressive for the rest of the game. Really, the only item that is going to be a big pickup, so to speak, for Armata for the rest of this game is going to be that Ratatouille coming out for the Agni. A Deathbreaker a little bit far off for Virgil at this point. He's only sitting on about 1,000 gold in hand. Rithis popping off those Agni bombs into the mid lane. Kenny on the tier, I think, probably not, shouldn't be going Jotun's Wrath as his third item in this situation. A little bit more protection. A little bit stronger presence in the front line could have really helped him out. He's going to get chased down now by Everlong on the horse. There's the stun. There's the dash. Even with the Aoguang Spear Tempest, it's just not enough to peel at all. Cody only sitting at level 12. That ultimate just not doing a lot of damage at this point.
Yeah, beads out of the Dekos ult. Dekos is just going to put his tail behind his legs and run away. Lurking in the waters comes up. Doesn't do any damage. President Cam gets the flip off, but flips it to no one, and his team fell back already. We're going to see the retreat from EG. An uncharacteristic retreat from EG, as we're used to seeing them go so aggressive this entire match. We're sitting at 20 minutes. 43 kills for Armata. 7 for EG3. Not a single tower down on the Armata side of the map as EG3 just has a single tower up. I wonder if Armata's going to actually look to kill this tower, or they're just going to look to kill some Phoenixes and eventually grab the Titan bar. What do you think?
Oh, they're going to wait on this Gold Fury here. Cody going to fall to the Agni again. I mean, he just, I think you really hit the nail on the head that EG3 is playing like they're way ahead, even though they're way behind. And if it's a, kind of a concentrated effort to get a little bit more experience, in terms of their playstyle, how they're going to try to execute, it's definitely a worthwhile exercise. But I don't think it's the right tactic to help them win the game. It's just leading to a lot of unnecessary deaths as they kind of pile in 1v1, looking to pick up individual kills or take down someone who's about half health. And they're really playing the same game Armata's playing, but Armata just has a massive advantage, and so they're kind of over the top, hyper aggressive style is a little bit better. Diving into the base makes more sense when you're up by what is now 16,500 gold and nearly 34,000 experience.
Yeah, and so something that I think might be going on in EG3's head is they're like, look, we've already lost this. We know that coming back from a 17,000 gold deficit is not exactly, they would set all sorts of records with that. So I think they're just trying to get kills, trying to really just have fun with the game because nobody wants to surrender. They have a lot of courage for showing up here and doing what they're doing. Armata isn't one of the top 4, but we've seen Lucier dominate complete games with the 3-pointer, that long-range death scythe. Perfect coming out. Thanatos wants something. He lands, gets the double stun. The scythe comes out. The double silence. Scott falls down. President Cam wants to make somebody pay. Lurking in the waters is going to hit the Wukong for almost 0 damage, unfortunately. Looks like they might have enough with 3 members come out. The Fling comes out. 1 more ultimate. He's going to die to this Phoenix, and That's what they're looking for. They're just looking for a couple of picks, a couple of things to just make them say, hey, we're having fun already, but let's try to make them pay for what they're doing to us. They understand that the writing's already on the wall, and they just want to have fun with it like the crowd should be having. Everybody should just be having fun here, and that's what they're looking for, I think, Bart.
Apollo coming into the backline now as Kenny tries to escape. The Agni Bombs did a lot to him. The auto tech's coming through. He heals back up for the blue stance too. Virgil, can you seal the deal, sir? Popping the sprint. 2 auto tech's going to do it. He's not hitting hard, but he's hitting fast. 140 damage crits coming in on those tankier targets. About 200 damage crits on the weaker targets. And he's going to go ahead and go into the Witchstone as well. So a little bit of a style build here from the Apollo. Midas boots into a lot of attack speed and some run speed as well between the Heartseeker and the Witchstone. It's definitely not the most effective build, but it's certainly cute.
It's definitely looking cute, feeling cute for Armata Gaming today, and something needs to be said right here. So Armata got very powerful picks. Yes, Armata's builds before the Midas boots on the Apollo looked a little better. The early Deathbringer on a behind Fenrir might have been pretty questionable, although Fenrir is sitting at 5 kills. So I'm sure that's from different situations, but something that should be noted is that Armata got ahead like this by playing as a team and continuing to play as a team. Their rotations were on point. I said so many times that somebody was locked between Agni and Lucier. That mid-jungle bond is just so strong on this Team Armata. They were really nailing their rotations and never really getting picked out. Where Eg3, the early game, what led to their deficit right here was a lot of one-on-one situations that they didn't want to be in the first place, or rather one-on-3, one-on-2 as Armata was always grouped up. So, this is going one-sided right now for Armata, but for good reason, I want to say, as they've earned this lead that they are commanding right now.
Yeah, they had also that mid lane rotation from Armata, the Agni rotating over to the right side lane to get that 3v2 super early on was really indicative of how this game ended up going. Just a little bit snappier on the rotation from Armata, and they actually got significantly ahead off of some of those early ganks. They also got an early kill in the dual lane. And that engagement that we mentioned just off of the blue camp on the left side where Virgil just had so much damage to President Cam, it really made it so their dual lane was going to have a hard time winning the first 2-3 minutes, which is pretty important when you want to snowball, especially when you have kind of a snowball-dependent lineup like EG has drafted here. They really need that Muzen to be getting out way ahead of the Apollo or the double kind of dunk down as we see there from Lucier and Virgil. Just going to be a little bit too potent. Now it's going to be the Guan Yu charging in to try to stun out a Muzikov, and Muzikov is he's free. He's a bee in a honey trap there. There's not much he's going to be able to do about that. Spirit Tempest comes through. Lucier going to beads out of its wisdom. Going to try to chase him down with Somersault Cloud. The trap is closing on Nakota here. Dash through into Meteor, and that is a dead Ao Guang. And now this should be where Armata looks to break the base.
Yeah, I mean, I said before that both teams were having fun, and they definitely were. I kind of feel like Armata, I definitely know that Armata could have finished this game off earlier. It took 50 kills, 25 minutes for them to actually look at the Fire Giant. Kind of questionable decision making here. I really hope they go for this Titan. I really hope they go for this Titan and just secure the win as the double dunk comes down. They're going to look for the kills beforehand. Dequos into a lot of trouble, but Alt can't find a target. Wants to bring him into the well. Here, come sit in my base. That's so much damage from the well. Actually, Armata's going to lose 2 members due to their greed, not going for the Titan, and instead of going for the kills. That's karma, Bart. That's karma.
Yeah, Armata definitely dragging the game out. They've got some, as we kind of mentioned, some maybe not the most effective items. There's been a lot of dives as we see Everlong pick up yet another kill here, but I think you should remember this because someday, in this bracket, they're going to have to face off against one of the top 4 teams, and maybe they're going to get styled on, and they're going to have to deal with how that feels.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from Armata. They've definitely earned the situation that they're in right now. So, a little bit of flair is not a bad thing, of course. I don't want to be sitting here for 50 minutes, but that said, if we do sit here for 50 minutes, Eg3, their late game team is very scary. If they can group up and recollect and Armata gives it to them, they could be in a serious situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible that Armata can turn this into something in EG's favor by just continually diving the well. But with no Phoenixes up, it's going to be really, really tough. I don't even know if EG3 really has enough damage to even clear out the fire minions. You can see Sobek basically can't do anything against them, and they may not even have enough damage just to stop an all-in dive. Apollo is in the air. No, he's just running in, and with Fire Giant buff and then looking at Wukong, this may be too much. He's going to go for the kills before he goes in now. So Armata's still looking to rack up another few kills before they finally end this one here. Wukong got a Somersault Cloud out. Outgoing Ultimate ripping through. Not finding too much. Virgil throwing in auto attacks on to the Titan there. He's going to get Fearless chained into the pool, dashing out, but it is going to die. 732 damage from the pool. OP.
So much damage from that pool, and you know the DPS coming from that pool is ridiculous. It's funny that we're even talking about the DPS in the pool. That's the final push. Armata finally secures the victory as we sit at a very large victory for Armata, Bart.
Yeah, that was a rout, a very, very dominant performance from Armata. As we kind of mentioned going through it, it was a that early game for them, winning the duo lane pretty early on, or at least the first couple of minutes, and then that solo lane rotation.